Hello, this is BBC News with me, Rita Chakrabarti. Today is the anniversary of the World Health Organization first declaring the COVID-19 outbreak a public health emergency of international concern. Its Director General, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has warned countries against vaccine nationalism, saying that drugs should be prioritized for use for those most in need around the globe.
Vaccines are giving us another window of opportunity to bring the pandemic under control. We must not squander it. The pandemic has exposed and exploited the inequalities of our world. There is now real danger that the very tools that could help to end the pandemic, vaccines, may exacerbate those same inequalities. Vaccine nationalism might serve short-term political goals, but it's ultimately short-sighted and self-defeating. We will not end the pandemic anywhere until we end it everywhere.
Well, Dr. Ifeanyi Nsofor is the Director of Policy and Advocacy at Nigeria Health Watch and is a Senior Fellow at the Aspen Institute. And he joins me now. Hello there, Dr. Nsofor. How concerned are you at the unequal distribution of vaccines across the world?
Yeah, so thanks for having me. I'm very concerned because I think Dr. Tedros really hit the nail on the head. That if we have to end this pandemic as quickly as possible, there has to be some level of equity in the distribution of vaccines, and not just concentrating in richer Western countries, buying up the available stock of vaccines. Because ultimately this is a pandemic, so the world is as strong as the weakest link as far as this pandemic is concerned. And at the rate that vaccine distribution is happening, the world is still at risk, really.
I was very struck because you wrote an article recently pointing out the inequality of distribution. You quoted the World Health Organization's Director General talking about the number of doses of COVID-19 vaccine that's been officially administered in any African country so far, and that is 25. Not 25 million or 20. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Yes, 25. I know, interestingly, if you watch the interview of Dr. Tedros when he was making that announcement, he was very particular about stressing the fact that it's 25, not 25 million, not 25,000, not 2,500, 25. And that is in the country of Guinea. And, as at the time he made the statement, about 39 million doses had been administered in, richer Western countries. I mean, you can see the disparity, and, that really will not help us at the long run.
But there are international programs, aren't there? There's the COVAX program, there's the World Health Organization. So why are these not going towards helping the situation?
Well, the COVAX facility has not, pledges are being made, but no vaccine has left the COVAX to the countries where these vaccines will be administered. And if I use Africa as a continent, for instance, it's probably till the end of 2021 that vaccines from COVAX will get to the African continent. And by the time you start distributing, you're entering 2022. So at the end of the day, as commendable, as equitable as COVAX is, it is not helping the situation right now. And at the end of the day, even after the COVAX vaccines are distributed, they would only cover 20% of the continent. And, we are told that we need 60 to 70% to achieve herd immunity. So even after the COVAX facility, vaccines have been distributed across the continent and 20% of the population immunized, I mean, it still wouldn't, solve the problem of halting the transmission of COVID-19 across the continent.
Do you lay any of the blame at the door of the individual leaders of African countries?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because even in my piece, I was very clear about it. I'm angry with African leaders because we knew we were going to get to this point in time. So ideally, a lot of planning should have gone into this, a lot of reallocation of resources to procure vaccines for the continent. However, I also, give them some slack because even if the funds were really available from African countries, we still will not be able to buy because Western countries have bought up all available vaccines. So, it's almost like we're between, the rock and a hard place. So it's such a sad situation. But for me, most importantly, I want African leaders to begin to look at the future, because this will not be the last pandemic. Another pandemic will happen. Nobody knows when. But beyond that, we have other epidemics that we're dealing with on the continent: Lassa fever, meningitis, and different infections like that. And we cannot keep depending on richer Western nations to keep, providing funds for us to vaccinate our people.
Okay.
So it's really, at the long run, our leaders really have to step up.
Thank you so much for talking to us. That's Dr. Ifeanyi Nsofor from the Aspen Institute. Thank you.